Assalamualaikum to Madam Sabrina. Right now, me and my fellow group mates are going to present about safety analysis for bridge construction. This slide prepared by Muhammad Ikhwan bin Mazlan, Muhammad Nizar Hakim bin Abdul Halim, Aini Faatihah Binti Zolkiflee, Syazana Binti Jamaludin, and myself, Puteri Natasha Nabiha Binti Rohaidi. The content that our group will present is introduction, classification of hazard, case study, and the last one is discussion and conclusion. The introduction for this presentation is bridges are vital infrastructural elements that connect communities and facilitate the movement of people and goods, ensuring the safety of both construction workers and the long-term user of these structures is of paramount importance. In this presentation, we will delve into the key components of a JSA for bridge construction, highlighting the potential hazards and the measures taken to mitigate them. Let's embark on a journey to better understand the safety protocols that underpin the construction of these engineering marvels. The advantages of JSA. A job safety analysis for bridge construction is a critical process that systematically assesses the potential hazards and safety measures involved in constructing a bridge. This analysis aims to ensure the safety of workers, equipment, and the overall construction site, ultimately minimizing risks and promoting a secure work environment. The term of job. Job is defined as any activity, mental or physical or both, that has been assigned to an employee as a responsibility and carries with it both positive and or negative consequences based on the performance of that job. Also, the term analysis is defined as breaking down of a job into a component, steps, and evaluating each step, looking for hazards. Each hazard is then corrected or a method of worker protection. Safe practice or PPE is identified and made of a standard operation. Hazard is any source of potential damage, harm, or adverse health effects or something or someone. Basically, a hazard is the potential for harm or an adverse effect. For example, to people as health effects, to organization as property or equipment losses, or to the environment. Risk. Risk is the chance or probability that a person will be harmed or experience an adverse health effect if exposed to a hazard. It may also apply to situations with property or equipment loss or harmful effects on the environment. Factors that influence the degrees or likelihood of risks are the nature of the exposure, of how much a person is exposed to a hazardous things or condition. Next is how the person is exposed by breathing in a vapor, skin contact, and the severity of the effect. For example, one substance may cause skin cancer, while another may cause skin irritation. Cancer has a much more serious effect than irritation.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Ikhwan bin Mazlan. My ID number is KNN 2118170. Okay, so I will present about the classification of hazard. Okay, so the first main job is working at height, which is we identify the 4 job steps. Okay, the first one is setting up protection system. Next, install scaffolding. And number 3, working on elevated platform. And last, install balance cantilever. Okay. So for job step, setting up fall protection system. The potential hazard is falling from height, exposed to unstable weather, and falling object. And the risk is fatal bodily injury and heat stroke. So our control measure is give proper training to workers and keep an eye on weather conditions. Okay, next, the job step is install scaffolding. So the potential hazard is falling from height, tip overs and overturns, and collapse platform. Okay, so the risk, it can be disability or injury and fatal. So recommended countermeasures is put a signage when setting up the guardrail and safety nets, do proper inspection, and last, build safe access. Okay. Next job step is working on elevated platform. The potential hazard from this job is uneven surface and precast can drop from height level. So the risk is fatal and electric shock. So the recommended countermeasure is take appropriate measures such as leveling jacks and do proper inspection on precast material before use. Next job is install balance cantilever, and the potential hazard is exposed to the electric such as wiring component from machine. The risk is fatal and electric shock. And last, recommended countermeasures is ensure that machine handler is a competent person. Next main job that we identify from this site visit is concrete and formwork, which is it has 4 job steps. Set up site for concrete pouring, install form and rebar, number 3 cast in situ concrete, and last concrete pouring. So for the job step, set up site for concrete pouring, the potential hazard is heavy object, heavy vehicles, and uneven ground. So the risk from that potential hazard is struck by heavy object, serious injury, and heavy vehicles can crash. So the control measure is the flagman can monitor the condition of the vehicles while it's delivered the material on the site. And last, the person in charge can provide a special road for heavy vehicle to pass. So next job step is install form and rebar, and the hazard is sharp edge and heavy material. So the risk from that hazard is cut or lacerations, back pain, and get hit by heavy material. So the recommended countermeasure is worker can use crane to lift heavy materials. Person in charge need to ensure workers receive proper training when handling their work, and last, wear PPE when working to avoid getting injury. For the job step, cast in situ concrete, the potential hazard is dust and debris and exposure to chemical. So the risk is lung disease, and the control measures is wear PPE, which is wear face mask. Okay. Next job step is concrete curing. The potential hazard from that activity is fall down, and the risk is injury. And recommended countermeasure is keep a proper housekeeping on the site, put a cautionary signage to inform all the worker on the site of the hazard that has on the site. The last main job that we identify from the site visit is scaffolding erection and dismantling, which is it has 4 job steps. The first one is toolbox session or safety briefing. Number 2 is checking scaffolding components. Number 3, scaffolding installation, and the last, scaffolding dismantling. So the first job step is toolbox session or safety briefing. The potential hazard is the worker are not well focused. So the risk is workers can be miscommunication, and recommended control measures is safety officer should have a good communication with the workers during the briefing. And last, safety officer need to make sure all the worker is giving a fully attention. Okay, for the job step number 2 is checking scaffolding components. The potential hazard from this activity is heavy materials and poor scaffolding materials. The risks from that hazard are falling from height and serious injury. So recommended control measures is hire a competent person to assemble the scaffolding, and the worker need to wear PPE. For the job step number 3 is scaffolding installation. The potential hazard is uneven ground, installation not perfect, and unbalanced body position. So the risk is serious injury, scaffolding collapse, and falling from height. And recommended control measure is hire a competent person and wear PPE. For the job step number 4 is scaffolding dismantling. So the potential hazard are slippery and unstable body position. The risk is falling from height and falling object. So the recommended control measures for this activity is wear a PPE.
My name is Syazana Binti Jamaludin and my ID number is KNN 2118100079. I will start with the case study. The purpose of the case study is to identify the tools, materials and equipment that be needed. Other than that, it is to develop works methods and procedure for accomplishing the task. The most important purpose is we need to identify existing and potential hazards that happen during the construction. ASA are one of the methods that each company need to do daily. It's because it can help the company to identify the potential accidents that can happen anytime at the site. They need to keep a record for each cases that happen for their reference in the future. It also can help to prevent potential hazard from happening. Another purpose is GSA help us to understand the probability of there being an accident and what the severity of the injury or illness might be if one does take place. JKR and Jegas Murni Sediam Berhad. JKR is the Public Works Department is in charge of carrying out development projects and maintaining infrastructure such as roads, buildings, airports and ports. Since 1872, JKR has dealt with different elements of nation life. JKR is a government implementation agency that builds the trust of the people to ensure and realize the government's ambitions, expecting that this project can be finished in the allocated period with optimal quality and fixed costs. August 28, 2020, a ceremony was held in Temerloh Pahang to hand over the letter of acceptance SST and the formal letter of appointment of the supervisor for the project to expand the Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Bridge from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. The project menaik taraf Jambatan Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah is scheduled to be complete in 42 months. The project entailed a total construction length of roughly 2 kilometers. The project will improve the existing roadway that crosses the Pahang River. The bridge will be built roughly 12 meter distance, side by side with the present service bridge. The bridge will be the river's longest single-span bridge. Company Cergas Murni Sediam Berhad start their operation in 1986. This company being a G7 CIDP 5-star and Class A Bumiputra contractor. Specialization is bridge, interchange, highways and roadwork, earthwork and slope stabilization.
My name is Aini Faatihah Binti Zolkiflee and my ID number is KNN 211810064. So I'm going to present about the balanced cantilever. Balanced cantilever structure is used on some bridge. This guy employs a vertically anchored pillar to support a horizontal deck stretching out from one or both sides across the span. Often, the load is supported from both above and below. A diving board or platform is an excellent example of cantilever design. According to Benson, when the first cantilever bridge was built, it was considered a significant engineering feat. The bridge is supported by cantilever, which might be simple beams or trusses. When utilized to accommodate traffic, they are composed of pre-stressed concrete or structural steel. When you realize that the horizontal beams that comprise the cantilever arm are only supported from one side, it starts to sound risky. However, the two cantilever arms are connected by what is known as the suspended span, which is effectively a centerpiece which has no direct support underneath. The bridge load is supported through diagonal bracing with horizontal beams as opposed to typical vertical bracing. Extremely safe and very secure, the design of cantilever bridge is one which still lives on today. Right here, I'm sharing the statistic of accident that happen for each sector. As we can see, construction has the most highest record of death. There are a variety of causes of fatality that happen on site, especially working at high. According to NIOSH, workers who work at high places such as installing fall protection system, such as guardrails and safety nets, have the possibility of falling from high. This is due to unsafe behavior and condition. For example, of unsafe behavior are no one holding the ladder down while a friend is climbing or climbing while carrying other tools equipment. Then, for unsafe condition are the area of uneven ground or even wet ground. Another cases that can cause because of working at high is exposed to unstable weather. Furthermore, when working on elevated platform, the platform can tip over and overturns if do not install correctly according to the established standards. It can make worker crash by the particle broken platform or bodily injuries. Another hazard that can happen is uneven surface. Working at high requires a lot of energy and requires a high mental level because the air pressure and heat above is also high. Therefore, too many accidents happen on construction sites, no matter where and by whom. So we need to study and make improvement in a continuous period of time. The other main job that we identify for JSA are concrete and formwork. Setting up site for concrete pouring, install form and rebar, cast in situ concrete and concrete curing are the steps job for concrete and formwork. While working for this job, there are a variety of hazards that can be identified, such as heavy objects, heavy vehicles, and uneven ground. This can be proved by an article that we record on DOSH 2023. That is why a control measure should be taken to prevent the accident from happening. A briefing is needed before starting the work. It is because to remind all the workers on the importance of safety during work. Other than that, it is important to wear PPE on the site such as safety helmets, safety boots, and also reflector. When handling the materials such as cement for concrete work, the workers need to wear a mask and glove.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Madam Sabrina Binti Asmi, my lecturer for Safety Construction for Industry, ECC 3053. My name is Muhamad Abdul Halim and my ID number is KNN2118100074. So today I will make a video presentation about our report during visit site at Temeloh. So the first is discussion. We met numerous challenges during the duration of our time working on this site visit, making it exceeding difficult for us to achieve this goal. However, this is also one of the key reasons why we are able to overcome them. The following is a list of the challenges we have encountered. So the first problem that we encounter is restricted access. The second one is lack of asking question and sufficient preparation, and the third one is missing or inconsistent information. So what is the solution that we have found? So the first one is we create a question checklist to ensure that all the essential information is included. This is the better way to gain the information for our assignment. The second one is asking the project team about the necessary question that happen at site to gain more related information regarding our assignment. And the third one is we also asking the engineer and safety officer the further information about the activity at site and accident that happen at site and the way they handle the problem. And the third one, and the next is recommendation. So what is our recommendation? So recommendation is, the first one is regular review and update. The second one is comprehensive training. The third one is clear documentation. The fourth one is regulatory compliance. And the fifth one is incident analysis. And the last part is conclusion. In conclusion, job safety analysis is a critical process is ensuring workplace safety by systematically identifying potential hazard, assessing risk, and implementing appropriate safety measures. It helps protect the well-being of employees and prevent workplace accidents. Regularly conducting and updating job safety analysis is essential to adapt to changing work conditions and technologies, ultimately creating a safer and healthier work environment so that company can create a safer and more productive work environment for their employees. And that's all for me. Thank you and have a nice day, madam.